Okay, this morning we're going to try to get the poly up on top. And the way you do this is simply, you can take something, a golf ball or anything. Being I'm in the garden, a golden beet works just fine. But just kind of put it there, tie your rope around it so it'll hold the end. And then we've got 3 ropes. And what we're going to do is we'll just ease this up over the top. If it hangs up, well, we'll get a pole or something and unhang it, but we'll get it run across here. Once it's pulled over the framework, then it's time to start putting it into place. We've got up there on the ridge, we've got it kind of pinned with just a short piece of the wiggle wire that goes in the channel, or the spring wire with retainers. Now what I'll do is go to the other end and I'll pull it tight along the top, get it where it's centered, and then we'll start finishing putting in all the wiggle wire. All right, once you get your ends down and you're using your wiggle wire here, all you're going to do is you're going to hold a little tension on your plastic and you're going to wiggle this right into the channel. And this is the same all the way around, but what you're trying to do is get as much of the wrinkles out. You want it nice and tight. The tighter it is, the longer it's going to last. Now when you come to the end and you just take some side cutters, electric pliers, you cut that off with them, and then you put that in there. Now after you get that all in, you want to trim this down. Now leave a couple of inches. You don't want to just trim it up tight. That way you're not going to have a problem with maybe it just pulling real hard for some reason. But we're just going to come along here and I'm going to trim this all the way down right here now, and then I'll do the same on the other side. I do want to mention too that whenever you do this, you want to start from the middle and work your way towards each end. So that way, whenever you do this, you're going to be tight all the way down. You're going to pull the whatever slack towards the ends. There we go. We have the poly on the top, all nice and snug. And now it's time to put the roll-up sides on. We're working on the roll-up sides now, and as you can see, we've put the wiggle wire, fastened it in the lower channel. We've got it stretched out. Now what we're doing is we're putting together these sections of pipe, which will go the complete lower section through this channel here that they've got in here, and we're putting it together with Tek screws. Come back and you put some duct tape over it so it doesn't eat through it, and then we'll assemble all of these all the way down. We've also, this here is where our crank mechanism will go on here. This is what'll actually roll up the sides. Well, it's manual, but anyway, this will be what we'll roll up the sides with, is this crank, and so we're going to be working at that. But anyway, we'll finish this up, and then we're going to roll this under. We'll put some clips on it first and fasten them where it'll stay connected. Then we'll roll this under and connect all the gearbox up. Once you get your bar in there for your roll-up sides, you're going to get your side flap leveled out, and you want to leave your bar a little bit long on the far end. This end it'll be cut to fit, so it's going to be basically I'll cut it off in a minute, but you'll use these clips. Now they go on to the bottom here, and that will hold that so the pipe just doesn't spin. And then you're going to take and put some duct tape over the screw. That'll keep it from rubbing on your material. But that's where we're at. Now we need to cut this down and put the gearbox on. Okay, let's take a look at it, where it's at right now. We've got the frame up and covered, the roll up sides on. We just lack the end doors, putting them on, our roll up sides. As you can see, we've got our gearbox installed. We've got our anti-billow ropes. For those of you that don't know, these keep these sides from when they're down, from the wind taking and whipping them in and out. We have our shade cloth put on and fastened in a couple of places, enough that it should stay on there. And actually, in all the process of this, the grass got carried away, so we mowed it down, put the black tarp in here, because I don't know when we're going to get this planted. We need to get back out here and get to work on some of this grass that's taken over while we've done this project. Plus it's going to be warm, so it's going to be quite a bit of heat involved while we do this. But anyway, I'm sure these tomato plants and the zipper cream peas that's in here will enjoy the little bit of shade, so they don't get full sun, which ought to do them good. That's where we're at. Okay, it's July 29th, and I've kind of been goofing off. I forgot about getting my video done while I was doing this, just trying to get it up, and then I realized I need to complete this second half. But anyway, we've got the vent in this end. There's not one in the other end yet. We've been working on cleaning it out. We've got the roll-up doors on both ends. As you can see, we've got everything pretty much done. We've got our water running here. We have our electricity. Got us a little fan, and we'll probably put some fans up in the rafters up there. But I got the timer set up, got the drip system, got crops coming up. We've got some carrots planted over here. Just put them in today. We've got some turnip greens and mustard greens. Hope we have some, because we just realized we run out in the freezer. You know, you get so busy doing things, you don't realize that you don't have something. But anyway, we got a good crop of cucumbers coming on. It won't be long. These will be up and blooming. We've got some fall tomatoes. These won't be long. They'll be up and blooming. We've still got to drop us down some twine for these to climb. I've run up in the top. Up here, I've run a single conduit down this side. I just used 1/2-inch conduit, because instead of 3/4 is quite a bit heavier, and so I elected to go with 1/2-inch. It just happened that Lowe's was out of 3/4 anyway when I went up there, but I had some 1/2-inch. I got enough more to finish this job. But being there's these rafters come across here at 4 foot, I could basically hang off of that. So the extra weight from the conduit's not going to create extra weight that the roof's got to support too. But anyway, I've got those done. I've got these doubled down here. This is a 4 foot row. so I could do double tomatoes in here tight. These others are 3-foot rows. The center two are the 4-foot. And like I say, I've double rowed the tomatoes. I have extra plants over here. They're not looking real great because they've been in those pots too long, and I've just been watering them with the hose. I hadn't been giving them any nutrients. I've still got to finish fastening these down. I fastened them down at both ends, but I haven't fastened them at each one of these trusses coming across here. And the same thing with this one. It's fastened at this end, but it's not fastened at the other end or anywhere else. So that's still got to be done. But as far as the greenhouse, it is there. Now we'll go over. We've got some celebrity tomatoes we put in here. We actually cleaned out all our tomatoes except we've got and we can zoom in just a little bit. Down here we've got some black cherries that we left. They were pretty much where they can still get some water from the row. But we took out all the other rows because remember, all these rows run the wrong direction. Over here we've got the first 10 are Amish paste tomatoes, and then we've got some red pear tomatoes. And then we start into cherry tomatoes. We've got various ones, some red cherry, yellow pear, and some black cherry. And over here we've got some atomic grapes. We had a few of them here. We had 6, and we've actually lost all but 3. Something came in here and ate the top off of this. I have no idea what it is, what come in here, but hopefully we had 6. We've got, actually, I can't really count this, but it's struggling in there. That's number 4. We replanted where this one died out. Over here to this side, we've got another crop of potatoes. They were actually put in late too, but they still should have plenty of time. If they don't make really large tomatoes, they'll still be good small tomatoes, and I mean potatoes and seed potatoes. But we've got, most of this is Yukon Gold. We've used some of our potatoes that we had from our early crop, come back in and finished out with some red potatoes. Down here, I've got a few peppers. I had a few peppers left. There's these are Craig's Grande, and then I've got a Hatch green pepper on the end there. In here we put a few French beans that my sister-in-law gave me some seeds for. It was enough that I can grow these up and get seeds for next year's crop. We added a couple more tomatoes at the end of this row, and we added we put some cilantro right in here. And while this is coming up, this has already been watered once, but you can see how dry it is from the heat. It's about 94, but it feels like a cool 106. So you can tell by the ground it's definitely drying it out. It'd be much quicker if it was the wind was blowing very much. It is a slight light breeze, but it's well under 5 miles an hour. But in here too, we also have a few potatoes. You know, you always miss 1 or 2, and so anyway, they're coming up volunteer, so we're just going to leave them. They're not going to mess with anything but where these rows were come across here. But anyway, that's where we are. I wished I had taken more time out. As far as the roll-up doors, the bars and everything are pretty much the same as your roll-up sides. The difference on your indoors, you have this piece of pipe here, and what this does is keep your door, when you roll it down, it keeps it from coming out. Now we still lack, we've got some J hooks that that need to go here that will actually tie ropes when winter comes and we tie these indoors down. They'll hook on these J ropes, and then or on these J hooks that'll be on here, and that'll keep the door taut on both ends. But this pipe here keeps it where if you bring it down part way, it keeps it from just swinging out on its own. Over here on the end, it's a simple deal where you just screw your handle on the end of here, and then you've got a universal joint there that fastens to it. Now I just took my handle, a little strap to hook it there, but it doesn't have any elaborate crank like on these sidewalls. But as far as, like I say, putting the bar across just the same way. Framing in for the vents is no big chore either. And like I say, as far as it's no big thing putting conduit along the top, I still have to wire in my vent, and I'll want to get it wired in by the time I start having to close up, because that's when I'll need it. As long as it's open, I don't really have a problem with too much heat up there. But what I'll do is I'll get the one in the other end down here, and then I'll have to run them both to the thermostat so they can be controlled there. But that's where we're sitting. I hope this video gives you a little bit of knowledge. You know, if there's any questions you might have, we'll just put them down in the comments. If you put up your own greenhouse, you might let us know about it, you know, and let us know how much you like it. Which, like I say, we liked our small one that we had here, and it was amazing through the winter because the difference in the heat and stuff. It's amazing in the summer because the difference in the heat and stuff. It just really makes a big difference with a little bit of shade to the plants. You can see how nice these cucumbers are. I have some others up here, and I'll show them on the tour, but the difference between these that are sitting in here growing versus those that are out in the sun or get partial shade, it's a world of difference. But anyway, if you want to see more of my videos, well, just hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you'll be notified. If you like it, give it a big thumbs up and share it. That really helps my channel. Happy gardening.